Hello again, everybody, and welcome back. This is the third crafty live session for today. Yes, that's right, the third. So for this session, we're going to be playing with the Snowflake Wishes stamp set and die from the Stampin' Up's Autumn Winter catalogue. If you missed it earlier, today I'm with the poinsettia petals. Just grab it. So we're playing with the poinsettia petals stamp set and dies, and these were the cards that we made. So if you missed it earlier on, you can watch it on the replay, see how to make those cards. And then earlier today we did a walkthrough of the catalogue. So again, if you missed that, want to watch it back, then it's here. You can go back to it. But for now, we're going to be playing with the Snowflake Wishes. So when you arrive, just leave me a message. Say hi, so I know you're here. So hi Sue, hi Lynn, welcome back. I'm just going to check my setup. Thank you both. Yes. So if you wouldn't mind, please make sure to share the video. So we can get as many people as possible seeing all our lovely projects. So let me just check. Okay, fantastic. That seems to be working. There we are. Hi Doreen. Hi Kat. Thank you all for sharing. That's fantastic. Great. Okay, so just a quick reminder. I know that most of you who are on here, you've already gotten your numbers for bingo, so that's fantastic. I'm really looking forward to that. So bingo is at 8 o'clock tonight. So how it works is basically you pick any 5 numbers between 1 and 25. They're the numbers you're going to play with. We have 3 rounds of bingo, and the prizes for each round. So there'll be one of the rounds, the prize will be the triangle stamp set. For one of the rounds, it'll be the Life is Beautiful stamp set. And then for one of the rounds, it'll be our fantastic little mini trimmer, which you cannot buy. So this is exclusive. Only demonstrators can get a hold of these. So that's at 8 o'clock tonight. And if you haven't already picked your numbers, just pop them in. There's a pinned post at the top of the page, so make sure and do that. So what else have we got? So I hope you've all been enjoying the scavenger hunt and the safari posts throughout the day. I posted I know that some of you haven't received your catalogue from me yet, so I've posted a link to the PDF so you can have a look, at least look at it online, and that'll help you with your answers. What else have I got to tell you? Hi Diane, welcome back. That's it for now. Shall we just get on and stamp? So as I was saying earlier today, is that if I had to choose a stamp set from the catalogue, it would be a toss-up between these two. I really love these two. Now, I was saying also that when I look at the Christmas stuff, I try to see if there's like non-Christmas stuff that I can do with it. But, you know, when it comes to this and the Snowflake Wishes, there isn't really. it's Christmas, so we're going full-on Christmas for this particular session. So let me just grab my bits and pieces. Okay, so so let me just show you the stamp set. So again, this is a really big stamp set. It's got, hi Terry, welcome. It's got lots and lots and lots of different snowflakes of different sizes in it, which is really, really cool. And then you've got the dies. So it's going to fall all over the place. So the first thing you've got is this gorgeous frame. Now I'm not using this in our session today, but let me just grab, here it is. So what this does is it cuts out a frame like this. Move that out of the way so you can see it, which is really cool. So I've got some good ideas, I've got some fun ideas about what to do with this in future lives, so keep your eye on that one. Then we have these dies here, which cut out solid snowflakes, and in fact cut out, so this goes with this and this goes with this, so it cuts out some of the stamped images. And then you've got these dies here, which cut out actual snowflakes. And then you've got this die here, which cuts out, again, I'll grab it. It doesn't, it cuts an impression. Where have I got it? Right. Here. So this is my sheet. So what it does is it just cuts out that, I don't know how you, words are hard, ladies, help me out here. So it cuts an inlay, I guess is the right word, rather than actually cutting out an image. Okay, so we're going to be playing with that this evening. Alrighty. So as you can see, these are quite large images, which is great. I always like large images or dies because it makes it so much easier to put your cards together, because, you know, one or two elements and your card is pretty much sorted. So the first card we're going to make, just grab our pieces. Okay, so we've got a Whisper White base, and then we've got some Seaside Spray, which is a lovely soft blue, and then we've got a piece of a Whisper White. Okay, we're going to be doing some heat embossing for this one with white embossing powder, and we're going to be using this gorgeous shimmery ribbon, which we used earlier on this card here. It sits at the back. Thanks for sharing, Terry. Appreciate it. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to need a scrap. I'm going to put these to one side. We're going to work on this piece first. So the colours we're using here are Night of Navy and Seaside Spray. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I want to create some stamping. So what I'm going to do is I've got a couple of different stamps here. Now when I'm doing stuff like this, I do like to combine my stamps, so it makes it easier to create a, let's have a look. So what do I want? What ones do I want? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop that on there. So this is some snowflakes and dots, and this is some little snow flurries, I guess you'd call it. So let's pop that on there, and then I want this stamp set. So I want a large snowflake, which I'm going to pop in there, and then we'll arrange this like so. So you can see that I've just arranged all my stamps together on the block, which just makes it a lot easier. I'm going to create a bit of a background here. Okay, so now we'll get our embossing buddy, always the crucial first step when embossing, and I'm just going to lay that down like so. Okay, and then we'll grab our Versamark ink. So then what I'm going to do is just stamp. So I'm going to just create some stamping kind of in the corner here, like so. Yep, and then I'm just going to put a little bit more just on the corner here. Now I can see where my Versamark is. I don't know if you can tell on video on the screen, but I can see where it is, so making sure I'm not doubling up on my stamping. Okay, so once we've got that, then we take our white embossing powder, just cover it up, just put it all over. Need a new tub. Okay, and now I just need a little bit more there. That's it. So there we go. You can see we've got our images stamped. Okay, so just put that there whilst I put my embossing powder back in its jar. Here we go. Alrighty. So then we'll grab our heat tool. And again, when heat embossing, it's really important to get your heat tool nice and hot before you bring it to your paper. It means that the powder melts more quickly, so you get less warping of your paper. Alrighty. So here we go. Don't know if you'll be able to see this because it's white on white, but let's see. There it goes. That's it. So you can see, just goes shiny. Magic every time. Always makes me smile. No matter how often I've done it, it never fails. Ooh, hearts. Haven't made anything yet. Thank you. You liked it already. Okay. So there we go. It's all done. Okay. We'll bring back in our scrap and now we're going to do a bit of sponging. Okay, so I've got my, whoops, just knocked it there. I'm going to sit down for this. So I've got my Seaside Spray ink and I've got my oh, that's good, Terry. I'm glad you can see it. Sometimes things are obvious to me, but they're not obvious in the video. It's like when we put Wink of Stella on stuff. I can clearly see it, but it's not always visible. Okay, so as usual, when we're inking up or blending, we just take the excess off on our page and then just bring the ink in onto our card. So here we go. Just going to do this all over, and I'm not necessarily going for an even look. The main thing is that we cover all of our... Now, am I shaking the camera when I do this? Top tip, putting the stamps on one block. Yeah, it's just me being lazy, Sue. That's really where most of any tips that I do come from, is about making life easier and less complicated. Because I find sometimes if you're trying to stamp like that, trying to do a background that, you know, you do one stamp and then you can't find room for the others. So if you can create your repeating pattern actually on your block, it does make it a lot easier. Okay, so here we go. Let's have a look. A little bit more just in here. Bring the colour up. There we have it. Okay, so now we have our panel. There we go. Hi Mary, good to have you. Yeah, I know life is busy. You can catch us on the replay. Maybe you can join us for bingo at 8 o'clock if you've finished by then. Oh, just got ink on my finger. Better clean that off so I don't get a smudge. Okay, so the next step then is to do our sentiments. I'm going to stamp that in Night of Navy. So I'm going to do a thank you. So this says, thank you so much. Okay, which is kind of cool for, you know, if you want to do thank you cards for all the lovely Christmas presents. Okay, so just ink that up in that. Seb and Alex are watching. Yeah, let's see what they make of it, Terry. Okay, let's just see if we can line this up right here. There we go. Alrighty. Okay, so now I'm going to do some embellishment. So I've got my what's it? Snowflake Splendor Iridescent Ribbon. Loving in this. Having a lot of fun with this at the moment. And I'm going to break out the sequins that I've been using. Used them on the poinsettia card earlier on, I think, actually. Right, so what we're going to do is going to cut a piece of my ribbon for the top. That's going to go across the top like so. So let's get our glue dots. Now, as I said before, this ribbon is quite a stiff ribbon, so it does need a bit of... Oh, they're my youngest fans, are they? Tell them I said thank you. Hi Seb, hi Alex. All right, so this takes a little bit of working. So what I like to do is when it goes across, I'll just pinch the side there. You need the sequins now, Sue. Yes, you do. They are super. They are. And as I say, now that I've got my way of picking them up and attaching them with the Take Your Pick tool, it's just so much easier to do it. Okay, so now we've got our piece going across, and now I'm going to tie a bow. All right, so I'm going to show you. The key with a bow is to give yourself plenty of space. Don't try and tie bows with tiny little bits of ribbon. It's a recipe for disaster. Okay, so just make your loop. Okay, what I like to do is we make 2 loops. This is the easiest way. Okay, and then we cross them over. Okay, and then we take 1 loop and pull it through. Okay, and there we have our bow, and then you can pull the tails, tighten it up and adjust it till it's the size that you want, but always try and keep pinching the knot. That's what will hold it when you're finally done. Okay, so now there we go, happy with that, and then I can trim it off. So as I say, when you're doing your bows, the temptation is to be really frugal, and I do like to be frugal with my stuff, but when it comes to tying bows, give yourself plenty of room. Okay, just makes it so much easier. Now we're going to grab our glue dots, and again, because this ribbon is quite stiff, I'm going to use a couple. I'm going to use 2 on here. Okay. There we go. And then what I'm also going to do is, in order to hold it down, I'm just going to pop a glue dot just underneath there. And that just holds it in place on my card. And I'm actually going to put a glue dot underneath. So again, when you're putting bows on your cards, right, I find it much easier to do it this way than to actually put the ribbon round and tie it all in one go. It means it's much easier to get your bow the way you want it. And in position without actually trying to do it on your card. Okay, all right, so now sequins, just like you were saying, Sue. All right, so I'm going to bring back in my, this is what I was doing earlier, is that I've put a little dollop of glue just on my silicone mat here. Okay, and I'm just going to empty some of these into my lid, makes it easier to pick at them. So I've got my Take Your Pick tool, and I'm just going to pick some of these up and just add them. Whoop. Just add a little extra. I'm going to just pop them down into place first so I can arrange them how I want. Whoop. There we go. My putty is, I squeezed out too much and now it's getting caught on everything. There we go. All right. So let's see, what else do we want? One up here. And I think one here. Yeah, and I think we need one in here. Move this down. There. And we want one up above. Let's see. No. Okay, so now I have them where I want them. What I can do is put a little glue. This has dried off a bit, so I'm just going to put a little extra on here. Yeah, Olaf cards, snowmen, you guys are absolutely right. See? You guys know what you're about. Okay, so I'm just going to pick a little blob on here. So I'll pick it up with my tool and then place it back down. And again, just makes it so much easier to get your sequins down. Now, as you say, I'm using my old pokey tool, but you can use a toothpick or anything that's just a little bit sharp. I keep going to pick the glue up with my picker tool. I need to put my glue on the right hand side so I'm not tempted to do that, because it will happen. It's bound to. All right, so there we go. That's them on, and then carefully pop them back in. All right, I'm going to put that to one side for a moment. Clear some space. Move that over there. Oh. I just want to let my sequins dry for a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to I'm going to glue my Seaside spray piece to my card base. There you go. Okay. And then grab some dimensionals. Ooh, I want to finish off a sheet tonight, which is good. Right, let's see if I've waited long enough that I haven't did this on my live on Tuesday. I flipped my card over way too soon and my sequins came off because I hadn't given the glue enough time to set properly. So let's see. What I should have done, and I should have learned it from last time, and actually before I came live I thought I must remember that I should stick the panel down and then add the sequins, but of course, why make life easy for myself? So I can see I've lost one, got it here, so we'll just pick it up and pop it back down. The glue is still there. There you go, and then final touch, it's got to be some Wink of Stella. And there we have it. I don't know, can you see the Wink of Stella on there? Gorgeous, super. Oh, of course, Sue, pace away. That's what this is for. So I look forward, just make sure, I'd love to see what you make and share it to the page or to the group so we can all enjoy it. Right. So that's card number 1. Okay, so for card number 2, I've made a sample of this ahead of time. So this is the card that we're going to make. Hi Amy, welcome. Good to have you. So what we've got is we've got the Night of Navy card base, and then we've got 2 pieces of Whisper White. So one goes inside, one goes on top. And then we've got another slightly smaller layer that goes on top. And this is where we're going to use the inlay die, which is this one here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is on the smaller piece, okay, so I'm going to pop these to one side for the moment. I'm just going to arrange my die like so, and then I'm just going to cut that out on my big shot. So I'll be right back. Here we go. So as you can see, it just cuts out the inlay. I'm just going to grab my brush. Okay, these bits come out really easily. Okay, and then we'll just help out these teeny tiny little holes here. Now, I think this would also make a great mask, and I've got a project for a future project planned where I use that as a mask, and it works out really, really nicely. Okay, so let's just clear some of these bits. Alrighty. So now what we want to do is create a background for inside. So we're going to do some sponging for this. Okay, so I'm going to bring back in. I'm going to start with our Seaside spray. Okay, so I want to, this is just so easy. All right, so I'm going to start in the center, and we're just going to create that lovely color. That doesn't have to be the exact shape. This is why I've made it. Did I cut my inlay from thick Whisper White, Sue? No, just use regular Whisper White. I don't tend to use thick Whisper White very often, actually. Mainly because I find it difficult to tell the difference between the two. So I just use one type. Alrighty, so here's our blue. So now we'll just bring this in, make sure that it's covering the area that we want. Yep, but I want it a little bit darker in the center. And I'm going to bring in some of my Night of Navy and just put that in the center, like so. I mean, just this is a beautiful design on the front of a card anyway. It's kind of cool. All right, so then we just use that, and I think we need a bit more, so we'll just keep going. Let's keep blending. The trick with this is to make sure you don't get ink on you. Otherwise you get smudges on your card. Okay. So I think that looks good. Right. But the magic step, so to speak. I've done it again, Diane. Oh, I know. I'm sorry. Well, I'm not sorry, but I'm your enabler, aren't I? But I don't think you take too much persuasion, to be perfectly honest, do you? Don't think any of us do, really. Right, so now I'm going to grab my Wink of Stella, and then I'm just going to smoosh it all over. Now you can see that it's blending the ink. Okay, and ordinarily I wouldn't do this if I was going to show the blending, because it makes a bit of a mess of it, but for the purposes of what we're doing, it doesn't matter, because we're just going to capture the colour and the sparkle. Okay, so again we just keep putting our piece over there to make sure we've got colour everywhere we want it. But as I say, this is why I made this little piece ever so slightly smaller than the other one, so that if you get ink smudges or anything like that, it's not going to show. So then we just make sure that we clear off our Wink of Stella pen so that any ink we've picked up is gone. Alright, so now we're going to put that aside for a minute, and now we're going to stamp this one. So I'm going to use the sentiment Snowflake Wishes for a Merry Christmas. Okay, just put that on my block. I'm going to ink that up in Night of Navy. Just going to stamp that, try and get it straight. Stamp that just on the bottom. Another top tip. See, I'm full of them, Susan. Sue. There we go. Alrighty. So now I'm going to flip this over. Just give it a second. Our ink doesn't take long to dry. It dries pretty much straight away, but I find with the darker colours, particularly Night of Navy and Cherry Cobbler, they just need a smidge more time. So we'll just give them that, because the last thing I want to do now is smudge my card front. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to get a mini dimensional, and just pop it in the center here. I'm just going to add some around here like so. Hi Joel, welcome back. So this just helps keep it popped up. Okay, and then we can add our regular dimensionals. We'll just put some on the side here. Now I wouldn't normally put this many dimensionals on, but I want my card piece to be fully popped up. I don't want it sagging, because if it's fully popped up, then it just shows off the shading behind it even better. All right, so there you go. I'm not sure I've ever put that many dimensionals on the back of a card base, but anyway. Right, the other thing to bear in mind is not to put your dimensionals too close to the edge, because this piece is a little bit smaller. Okay, otherwise it'll have nothing to stick to. Let's just get rid of all of these. This is the only thing about putting lots of dimensionals on there, is it does get a little bit tedious. Okay, that's it. So then we'll just lay that on top like so, and I can see I've got a little smudge there, so I'm just going to use my eraser to get rid of that. There, okay, and then we'll grab a rhinestone. And I'm just going to pop a large one right in the center there. So apart from looking nice, it actually covers up that dimensional that sits behind. And then of course we need to wink of Stella. Spritz. There we go. So again, this is a super easy card to do. So then we're just going to glue that onto our Night of Navy base. Oh, nearly put it on the inside. What was I thinking? I know what I was thinking. I was thinking I mustn't forget to do the inside. Okay, so then we've got our inside piece. So I'm just going to do, let's see, which one should we do? Actually, I'm going to do this, which I have before. So I'm going to do the Seaside Spray. And I'm just going, so this is what we did. This is the arrangement of the 3 different stamps that we used for the first card. So I'm just going to stamp it in the corner like so. Okay, and then we're just going to glue that into our inside. Now, I don't normally do insides on my cards, but when I've got a dark card base like Night of Navy, you have to really. And there we go. There we are. Card number 2. Thank you, Sue. Glad you're enjoying them. Right, so let's make a bit of space here because we're making a mess, but that has to be done, hasn't it? I've just realised I've got Wink of Stella everywhere. I normally put some scrap paper down underneath before I spritz, but hey ho. Alrighty, so now we've got one more card. How do you think it would look if you add Wink of Stella to the colour underneath the start? That's what we've done, Joel. I think probably just before you joined, so I don't know if you can see it on there. So we've added sparkle underneath. See, great minds think alike. Alright, so now our final card. So these are 2 blues, so now we're going to go for some grey. So this is another super easy card. Okay, so for this, we've got a Whisper White card base, And then we've got a piece of smoky slate, and I do use smoky slate quite a lot in my Christmas cards. We've got a little piece of Whisper White, and then I have die cut the snowflakes. So we've got, just so you can see them, so you've got the large one. I'm just going to pop out these last few bits. Medium one and a small one. Okay, so I've cut them out in white, and then I've cut them out again in vellum. There we go. Alrighty, so then we're just going to take our glue dots and use the, no, I'm not going to use my glue dots because they're a bit big, so I'm just going to grab my glue dollop. Okay, and I'm just going to pick it up and just dot it around like so. You don't need a lot, and I don't want it stuck completely down to the piece in front because I want that dimension, I should say. So I just want it secured in the center like so. Okay, and then the same here. So you can see it doesn't require a lot of glue at all. Of course, Sue, we all need vellum, especially at Christmas time. Especially. I find that when Christmas cards come around, it's vellum, it's embossing, it's foil, it's gold, silver, all of that, all the bling comes out. But I just think when dealing with snowflakes and stuff, it just lends itself. There we go. Yeah, I love vellum too, Diane. And in fact, as I say, I've got some other projects lined up in the coming weeks that have got vellum on them, and they're really quite cool, if I do say so myself. Okay, so there are our snowflakes. Okay, so we'll pop those to one side. We'll do our stamping now. So we're going to do the snowflake wishes. So I'm going to use some Memento ink. I've just got a little strip. So this strip is usually it's left over from when I trim my cardstock. I keep all of that. It's perfect for little sentiments. Okay, so I'm going to stamp it to the left, like so. Let's see if I can get it straight. Let's have a look. That's right, so it just softens everything up beautifully. There we go, that worked. And then I'm going to grab the, oh, excuse me, I'm going to sneeze, I think. No, maybe not. Oh, right, so now I'm going to grab the label. This is the new punch that's in the catalogue. So just slide my piece in there. Okay. So it works like the triple banner punch, but you've just got more options. So there we go. And then I'm going to emboss my smoky slate with my favourite embossing folder, which is the Subtles. So just bear with me 1 second whilst I do that. There we go. So I love this embossing folder. I just love the texture. Again, perfectly named, subtle texture that it gives to your cards. Okay, so now our snowflake wishes is going to be popped up on dimensionals. Okay, and then our, just going to stick our snowflakes on using the same technique as before. So what we want to do is we want to put the large one here, because that's going to go behind like so, and then we want the medium one up here and the small one down here. Okay, so let's just squeeze out a tiny little dollop of glue. If you don't have a silicone mat, it's a great thing to have around the place. I use it all the time, but if you don't have, you could use like baking sheets. The sort of, I don't know what material they are, but they're kind of silicone-y, I suppose. All right, so we're just going to do the same as we did before on the back of our snowflakes. Just pop a little dot, so pop that one there. Okay. And again, we don't want it all over because we want our snowflakes to be sticking up a little bit. We want that dimension and texture. So we just want it in the center. As I said, this glue sticks very well, so you don't tend to need an enormous amount. So we just pop that there. And then we want some rhinestones. Let's pop that over there. Let's pop those in the center. So I just want the small ones for these. There we go. Okay, and then we can pop our sentiment on here. And then we're going to add our snowflake sequins again. So in case you hadn't already been convinced that you have to have these sequins, here comes another reason why. So just make sure that's straight. There we go. So let's grab these again. Like I said, I always just put them out in the lid because it just makes it easier to pick out the ones that I want. Okay, so I want one here. Now my fingers are sticky now, so I just have to be careful. Okay, let's have one down here. Just going to, that's it, just squeeze a little bit more of the putty out. It's better. Okay, let's see, one here. See, this is the hard bit. This is the bit that we faff with, and that takes us ages to decide. Now, I don't know why I keep trying to hold it down with my fingernail on that finger, because I've obviously got glue on it. There we go. So all I'm doing is picking it up rather than securing it down. So now I want a big one for out here. That's it, and then up here, and I need some in the middle here. Okay, so one there, and there we go. Okay, that should do it. Yeah. Sticky fingers. Right, so let's bring back in our glue. Okay. Need to wait till September the 1st. Why is that, Sue? Right. Okay. Are you going to sign up on September the 1st for the new deal? Is that why? Ding. Here we are. Okay, a bit more glue required. Next quarter, yep. Well, September the 1st is only Tuesday, so you've not got long to wait. You're a hobby demo. I think most of us are, Sue. I'll be honest. I am too. I know I do classes and all the rest of it, but what have I done there? But I'm not like the... I mean, there are some demonstrators who do make a living out of it. And I would love if this was my full-time job. It would be amazing. But that's just not going to happen. So... yeah. There we go. It's like an addiction, isn't it, ladies? Right, so then we have a little bit of spritzing with our wink of Stella. Now, I am going to put my paper down though for this one. Alrighty. There we go. Okay. There, can you see? Yeah. You see this sprinkle, the sparkle on there. It's cool. I like that. Right, so now we'll bring back in our card base. Okay, and then we'll flip this over. See, I made the same mistake again. I put my sequins on too soon. I just get too eager. Make it a full-time job. Oh, thank you, Sue. I'd love to have you on my team. I'd love to. But you know what? Even if you're not on my team, you can still enjoy my crafting. There we go. But yes, if you ever decide to change, you know where I am. There we go. Okay, so there we are. Card number 3. So let's bring them back in. It's voting time, ladies. So we've got number 1, number 2, or number 3. Let me just do it that way. There we go. Can you see them all? There we go. So let's have your votes. So whilst you're voting, just to remind you, bingo is at 8 o'clock tonight. So in order to join in, you just need to pick any 5 numbers between 1 and 25. Add them into the pinned post at the top, and then they're the numbers that you'll play with when we play. We've got some cool prizes. So we've got the Life is Beautiful stamp set. We've got the triangle stamp set, and we've got this cute little mini trimmer, which you can't buy in the shops or from Stampin' Up. And so they're all our prizes. And there will be crafting. So we'll have at least, I think I've got 3 projects planned for tonight. So we kind of do project bingo, project bingo, project bingo. So it's a bit of fun for everybody. So I hope to see you all there at 8 o'clock. If you haven't done so already, I'd really appreciate it if you shared the video. If you missed any of the earlier ones, then go back and watch them and enjoy them. And I will see you all at 8 o'clock. Thanks again. Bye.